Good afternoon, everybody. Myself, Manu Matthew. I represent the editorial department of Images Group and India Retailing. We have a very eminent set of personalities and experts from the set of marketing, e-commerce, and technology. And I welcome you all to the India Retailing Presents Leadership Dialogue on connected commerce, building offline trust with online convenience powered by GoKwik. In India, as we know, retail is one of the biggest market, the flourishing market, and the most aggressively expanding market. Offline and online, it is now just mere words, and then you guys are acting as a catalyst in bridging the gap between the same. At the same time, now what we have added to this particular topic is a factor of trust, and which is a very big word because trust has to be from the customers, the trust has to be from the persons you are associating with. So trust is definitely a very crucial factor for all the retail brands and especially the D2C landscape that you're all associating with. Before we jump onto the topic and before I hand over to Joyita, I would just start with asking one single question and 1 minute each to everybody. And what is connected commerce for you? And at what present stage are you right in? So maybe we can have one minute of each of the same, and then we can hand over to Joyita. We'll start with Pranam.
So connected commerce, according to me, is something like connecting your digital and offline together. With regards to us, I have a brand called Shubhanjali Store, for which we have online presence and offline presence, and we are bridging this gap with regards to Instagram marketing, WhatsApp marketing, omnichannel sales marketing. That's what we are doing.
Hey, uh, for us in Shopper Stop, I think we are making a journey from retail to online very quickly, and while we want to keep retail growing in the same speed, for us, it's the answer is simple. It's all about having a seamless omni-channel journey, having customer the same kind of feeling they have in store, the premiumness and the value they drive from the store in the online, the same kind of you know the visibility and the information which they get on a store on a demand basis, how we can provide that online without even asking for is what we look at.
Hi, this is Jugal from Bombay Trooper. I'm just looking around and I think I'm the only online first brand on the table right now. So I'll give you that perspective. Coming from that online side of the commerce, I think I take it for granted that I know the entire history, horoscope, and biodata of my customer, right? Which at this point is kind of tricky, difficult to, I think, get from your offline channels. So for me, connected commerce would be the day when I can identify or get to know my customer, even if they have shopped from any of my own outlets or third-party outlets. As long as they have purchased my product, I want to be able to know their purchase history, their entire customer profile. That I think that would be pretty good future to look forward to.
Hi everyone, I'm Ravi from Shopper Stop, and I think what me and Mohit will be speaking will be more or less same throughout the event. But broadly, and he very rightly said, seamless is definitely the word that we are looking forward to. At the same time, I would say along with seamless, it's about convenience. It's a seamless connectivity at the convenience of your home because the customer is the same, the one walking into my store, putting in that effort of walking into a store. At the same time, there is a top of the mind recall about my brand, my store, and looks forward to ordering things online. Convenience comes into play in terms of maybe buying online, returning in store, buying in store, returning at the convenience of your home, multiple things. So I think the two key words over here for me in terms of connected commerce is seamless and convenience.
Hi, this is Shahroz from Meena Bazaar, legacy brand and ethnic wear, women ethnic wear. So, as it's a legacy brand, we are catering three different generations from grandmother to mother and then daughter. So, for us, it is something to keep things very simple. We can cater to every category of the generations. So for us, it is something which is profile making of the consumer, where we can connect it with the consumer on a regular basis, making a tomer into the mind. Yes, if you want to shop for Lenga, Meena Bazaar is always there, and it is the only brand which is there for your need. So this is something which we are working on, and very soon we are starting with the quick commerce as well. So right now we are not having a very good presence in the online market. We have almost 75 plus stores on a pan India level. So, but yeah, quick commerce is something which is we are looking for. Thank you.
Hello. Hi. So Khushboo here from Spykar. For me, connected commerce, as Ravi Ranjan mentioned, two, very important points, which is like one is seamless journey, and second is you said that it has to be convenience. For me, third is parity in terms of merchandise and discounts, because when you bridge the gap, you have to ensure that customer has to be see, customers are very intelligent now these days. So you can't make them, like if you are selling that A SKU or a B option at a 50%, it has to be 50% online also. That the moment it is being done in terms of parity, your trust will definitely build. So for me, connected commerce, definitely it's a seamless journey along with the convenience, and the third is definitely parity in terms of your merchandise discounting, etc. Thank you.
Hi, this is Abhishek from Noah. Also, online first brand. I think for us, I just echo the same thoughts. Actually, seamless is definitely important, but trust is at the heart of whatever we do, because in the intimate hygiene, wellness category, trust is everything. It's not like a woman decides every month I'm going to change the brand that I buy my pads from. Doesn't happen, right? So I think it's all about how do you build that trust and keep that across whichever channel the customer is buying. So I think the brand experience and the product experience has to be the same, regardless of which channel the customer is buying from. So yeah.
Hey, hi everyone. It's Aniket here. I think I resonate with Khushboo. Being in retail, we have always seen the argument of the fight that there is not a price parity, and that's a biggest challenge which I see in terms of when we say that we want to bridge the tunnel, because there is an OSM stock which becomes, we all know how it impacts. But for me, it's not just omni or endless aisle, right? I also look at it from how fast we can bridge that gap, right? And how that can happen is that, of course, we have offline where we are building the trust, but at the same time, online can help us in terms of understanding the trend better and quite faster, right? And with a precise data, right? And that can be utilized internally. It can be anything, right? From your product trends or customer feedback, etc. And that can be utilized to make the overall experience better, right? So I see it from that point of view, that yes, of course, omni and endless aisle is there, but bigger picture, if we see, is getting insights faster from online and then implementing it in offline, online, wherever or whichever channel it is sort of applicable. So I think that would be it. Abhinav.
Thanks. Hi, I'm Abhinav from GoKwik. I think my definition of connected commerce is a little different of how I look at it, right? I think we spoke about trust, seamlessness, price parity, online to offline, having a similar experience. But how we look at, I think commerce is changing, right? It's about getting the commerce when the customer thinks about it, right? If I think about a product, can I just buy it? Can we remove all the lines in between, right? Can we remove channels? I think that's where we're heading to. That's how I look at it, right? Websites, stores. I think in the next 4 to 5 years, these channels will really, really blur. It's about, we've got ChatGPT. They have started selling. There are news about Shopify and ChatGPT now partnering with each other. So I think if you look at it in the next 2-3 years, I think channels will really blur, and products will be available at a thought process. So I think connected commerce is that. Connected commerce is about customer thinking about it, and can a product be available there? Yeah, thanks.
Hi, this is Anwar. I'm from the online sales of bestseller, managing 4 websites: Jack and Jones, Bermuda, Only, and Selected. For me, the connected commerce is the outcome of what we do in terms of building that capabilities. When we say connecting commerce, basically we are talking about we should be able to provide the same customer journeys, same product deliveries, offline, online, through WhatsApp, through chatbots. And therefore, a unified view of customer can be created. In order to create that view, we need to have data at one place. And therefore, as an organization, we have started this journey. We have started building the data lake, which is a data warehouse, bringing all the transaction at one place. And then we can now, with the help of .com, bring offline and online experience together in a way that customer can place an order and pick up in store. Customer can place an order and return in store. And similarly, we can do hyper-local deliveries. So there are multiple use cases. So all of them are possible because we are able to create a data lake, which is a common place of creating a transaction. So yeah, being an original brand manufacturer, it is utmost important for us to try and create our own .com in a bigger way. Why would you let our customer go to any of the marketplace? While marketplace is a larger business. But yes, in a longer term, we see .com could be a larger one with the synergy of offline stores. So that's connecting commerce for us.
Hi. Hi, this is Samiran. I am from a brand called Purplle.com. So it's, first of all, sorry I was late, got stuck in some agendas. But yeah, coming to the topic, yeah, it's a very interesting discussion right now. Currently, at a phase which we are going through, there are two key aspects of it. As a company and as an industry as well, there are a lot of learning for all of us. What we are looking at is right now profitable transformation over transaction. Okay? While I say that, there are a lot of synergy between, we all are talking about a lot of synergy, having access to data. And since we have also started, let's say, primarily a data first brand, and then at 2020, 2021, we started going offline. Last year, we opened around 60 plus outlets, physical stores. With that, it is a very complex subject just to understand. It's not about only deeper penetration or knowing your consumers better, or getting to understand and reach that particular geography better or understand it. There is another question as we progress as an industry is about ethical using of tech and AI. Okay, while we have these access of all the consumers, what are your favorite products, while people are moving in and people are taking that leverage as well. Okay, these are their on-cart items which they can probably use on the store, and then they can see, touch and feel, and then go to the decision of buying. But there is one more aspect of it, how much of a leverage we need to do, okay, and we need to take. Right now, what we would say, everybody is learning, because data is always talking about trends, which we have been seeing. There is no future prediction, but we are keeping our fingers crossed, and we are looking at that synergy where we can do better with the online consumers, knowing your consumers better and giving your consumers the rest, everything which they want in a jiffy. So that is what the transformation and learning we are trying to take. So there are deeper discussions around it. We are happy to discuss, but yeah, I'll pass on.
Can we pass on the mic to him? So we're discussing what is connected commerce. What does it mean to you?
Okay. For me, if I have to say in a nutshell, so I represent Baggett, which is a ladies' handbag manufacturer, made in India brand. So how do I connect all the aspects of a customers? Like we have a concept called as Saas, Bahu and Beti. Because in a family, if I have to target all of these ladies, how do I do that? So that is a connected commerce for me at the moment. Or we can
Sure.
talk how technology
Sure.
can bind it, but because everyone's tastes and preferences are different. So for a SaaS, okay, she'll be like buying a product which is long lasting, not that trending. For a bahu, she would use it for their kids to school or attend some other ceremony. For a beti, she will be like value for money. ये मुझे discount मिलेगा क्या? I am carrying a baggage bag. No? So how we can make the technology revolve around these, and that's how I could.
Very interesting, actually. I mean, we've had very diverse kind of, definitions of connected commerce, and where, some places, I think we're talking about the channel itself becoming, non-channel almost, seamless and everything. We've also, you summarizing, and also Shahroz talking about the generational, connectedness, and how does one brand stand for everybody. And also technology coming in and data enabling the core of unification and identification of customers across channels and delivering that seamless experience to them across touch points. So I think very interesting, and we have some digital native brands here, whereas there are retail brands who are now pivoting digital. So it's a very nice mix of people, and I think we'll get a very good conversation going, I think, from here on. What I want to ask is, how is it shopper backwards? How do you see this shopper backwards, in the sense that, are you seeing, say we were in a post-COVID, era where suddenly digital acceleration happened, and digital first brands started emerging, and those barriers to business, start your business, and scaling a digital brand was, made very, very easy. And then there was suddenly again, 2 years later, and at that point they were saying that retail is dying and all of those things were being discussed about. And 2 years later, we're now seeing that people are so over COVID and so over that time that, they want to go out and get experiences, right? Which is in the physical realm of things. So how do you see this transforming for your shoppers, for your consumers? Whether it is different segments who are going through this kind of, whether they're discovering on one channel, and your shoppers could be in different segments as well, right? Like he rightly mentioned that a grandmother catering to, a brand could cater to a grandmother versus the granddaughter. So how are those, habits or consumer behavior changing for your businesses, for your brands? And how are you bridging that gap? We could start with anybody who wants to go at it.
I think category curation within the organization or within your product is very important. For example, we are coming up with the quick commerce. Now, lehenga will not going to be sold on a quick commerce or the e-commerce. Obviously, you will not going to buy a lehenga for your wedding from the quick commerce website or e-commerce website. You have to go to the retail physical store and touch and feel, maybe give a try for 2, 3, 4 or more products. So that is something which is creating a need at that point of time for the different channels that you have. So we are coming up with the gifting category. Maybe it will be live in the next 1 week, where we are creating a need for the consumer. Raksha Bandhan kal hai, aaj gift karna hai बहन को, so you can get a gift pack in 10 minutes. Free size, no return, no exchange. So again, unit economics is very important when you are, talking about anything which is related to the consumer, related to your, bridging the gap, or any fancy words that you take the name. So your unit economics should go hand by hand with the curation of your category as well. अगर वो प्रॉफिट नहीं बना रहे तो मेरे लिए धंधा नहीं है, सिंपल सी चीज़. उसके लिए आप कोई कॉमर्स जा रहे हो, ई कॉमर्स जा रहे हो, उसका कोई मतलब नहीं बनता. आई एम हैप्पी विद द फिजिकल स्टोर इफ आई एम मेकिंग अ प्रॉफिट इन द फिजिकल स्टोर. सो दैट इज समथिंग विच इज इम्पॉर्टेंट.
So Joyita, I mean, what you asked about, what is really tying in together, right? And you very rightly said, because the customer today is just so, if I am allowed to use the word fickle, I might like a shirt on Myntra, add it to a wish list on Ajio, get 50 notifications and 30 emailers from around the world and just go and buy it on Amazon. That is what a today's customer is. But what has not really changed is the expectation of experience, be it the order experience, in app, off app, be it the post delivery experience. And more than the experience, it's about the resolution of problems that you have, any issues that you are facing. So, what really ties in together and what really makes you succeed over here is your customer experience piece, because that is where the actual human touch lies. Your tech can be the best, your interface can be really out of the world, but the human interference or the human interface or the human touch that happens is via that experience, which is mostly your post-order experience, your delivery experience. So if that is really impeccable, that is really as per the expectation, I think you can have the pastry with the cheese. That's it.
Yeah, so with regards to customer experience or bridging the offline, the online market, this is what we do. I don't know how effective people might take it, but this has been very good for us. What we have created is we have a complete basically customer care base. We have a customer care team of various regional languages, wherein the customer can connect with our team. And it's not only about selling online, it's also about showing the product live. So photo shoots basically is something what show something else, people receive something else, and that's where the returns are majorly higher. So if you say the return ratio for our industry, we basically deal into healing crystals. These are basically natural stones, rare stones or natural stones, and our products are majorly into home decor and fashion jewelry. Our return ratio, I think, is less than 1% to our annual sales. And that is majorly about showing the product live, giving them complete experience on different. We have consumers who are also telling us, show it in different lights, show it in sunlight, show it in different lights. And that's where our team is there, always available on Instagram, on WhatsApp. And that's the reason when they get the product, they exactly know what they're getting.
Is it possible to do this at scale? Like, how many consumers are you touching base with every day? And is this really possible to do?
Yeah, this is actually, we are doing it right now. We currently have a team of 50 people into customer care. We are now adding more team with regards to a night team, because we are getting the kind of industry what we are into. We understand people like to buy online at night also. So we are developing a team who can answer these calls, answer these queries at night time also.
Wow, that's very innovative. Any other viewpoints here?
So Spykar is a legacy brand, 32 years. So I think brand loyalty is something which is there. There are customers which are still loyal to the brand. So I feel if there is a certain set of the customers which are already lying, and that's low-hanging fruit for all of us, like for the brands who are already there in the retail for so many past years. So I think first, वहाँ पे बहुत important होता है to retain those customers, those who are loyal to you. क्योंकि new customer acquisition का जो cost है, any which ways the CAC which we always talk about is very expensive, and retaining these guys, again giving personalized. We do a lot of retention marketing. D2C is always known for this. You just tap one customer and the entire customer journey has to be mapped from one step to the other, and then the entire step goes. And during my 2 years of experience in Spykar, what I have seen is that retention marketing is a very, very important tool. I think a lot of tech players are already there, and I have seen a good ROAS. The customer changing behavior, we all know that it's happening, but at the end of the day, we also adapt the changes which is happening around. The consumers are changing, so we do have to change accordingly. We have to change our patterns to chase these guys. Otherwise, if we know कि हाँ नहीं ये तो लेने ही वाले हैं और लेंगे हमसे, नहीं होने वाला है, we all know. Since we know the taste is changing, we have to also change with the taste of there, and we have to tap them at every step, because I've seen that tapping these guys at every step, definitely out of 50 I have seen that 20 people will definitely buy. goes without saying, because I mean, lot of brands does this, and I myself have seen कि मैंने add to cart करके छोड़ दिया है, but keeps on reminding me, and somewhere I think yeah, I have to buy it. So I think the conversions have gone better in terms of keeping these tools in the picture. Even the we will maybe in future talk about the checkout, which is also there in the sessions. So I think the loyalty is, if the loyalty is there, plus if we are also changing, it's a mutual understanding between a brand and their consumers. It cannot be just consumers. Both has to work together to get that consumer. Otherwise, it will be like a one game show. That is what I feel.
Sure. I mean, of course, it makes a lot of sense. But coming back to the point on, say, so when you're doing this online and engaging with them only through online channels, for example, right? So you're focused, say, on retention. How do you think this would play out in terms of the unit economics or the price parity that you would want to bring across channels? So, for example, the same customer would be, say, discovering your brand, right? Possibly will make the purchase on a particular channel, could be online, could be offline, right? And then you start your retention, or repeat that you want to drive with them. But say, for example, they end up, interchanging between different channels at multiple times in their buying journey. How does it make sense if you bring that price parity across channels? Because customer is the king, and they would want to, buy from everywhere, whenever they want, at their convenience. How do you maintain that, unit economics if you have to bring that parity across all channels? And I think this is where most businesses struggle to merge that sort of experience across channels. How are you catering to that aspect of the business?
So I think merchandise plays an important role here. Absolutely merchandise game. So I mean, a lot of people does SMUs. We all know that there are special made units which are being done with these market players, and there is a set of merchandise which we do regularly, summer and winter launch in a year. So I feel that summer and winter is always part of EBOs and EBOs, and that are heavy in terms of business for retail. Like, we are not a D2C brand, it's always a offline. For us it's important, and even if you see the e-commerce contribution in such retail is not beyond 20%. So I feel that, again, coming back to what you ask is how you maintain a parity. It's absolutely merchandising. You have to create that merchandise for online customer. It's a different set of people who are there, who wants your brand, a good product at a decent price. Because if you see the ASP compared to what EBO does, so my ASP at a EBO will be higher compared to ASP at a, maybe I'm selling at Flipkart or Myntra. And even these guys are coming back to me saying, we cannot sell your full price merchandise. This is what they have already said that. So there's no point pushing, giving that merchandise to them and then discounting, and then, So I think the merchandise plays a very, very important role. You have to create that set of merchandise. This is for online. This is for offline. So then the parity can happen. Nobody knows. At the end of the day, you are making a denim. So denim mein to you have multiple washes and multiple MRPs. The same wash may be a price slightly higher in the EBO, of course a better quality, but a small, maybe -1, -2, and maybe 300 minus MRP at, maybe I can sell it on online. So I think merchandise is the answer I can share with you in terms of parity. Definitely can come. It's not a rocket science. If you categorize your merchandise at a very, very, very sharp, this thing, yeah, and we have done that. So I think this is something. And you are saying कि अगर मतलब what we think कि हम NSM launch करते हैं, we do launch on our website, but that is absolutely on zero discount, because otherwise the moment it is discounted, my EBO will come and scratch, go up and down, and they will like, nahi, you cannot put. So I think wahin pe we know it. Merchandise, curate properly. Otherwise, it's a problem for us, for a retail brand like us. Yeah.
Would you want to also add to that?
I think I have a point over here.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I've lost the point in between because there was so many diverse view for a particular subject.
Yeah, so we're right now talking about price parity and how do you bring that across channels, because the same customer could be shopping across these channels.
Correct,
right?
correct. I agree with Khushboo that There are a set of consumers who are always looking for discount, even for the same brand. For them, we have to create a exclusive kind of a collection, which we call it online exclusive. So they're not available in the store, slightly marked up, and then discounted and retailed. Because that's how the consumer perception is, that if they are going online, they are not looking for convenience, they're looking for discount. Brand they've seen, they've tested the product offline, now they're looking for a discounted product, same brand. So there comes the online collection, which is, you can create less options, more depth. And that's where you can save lot of cost. With respect to brand experience, I think OEX, what we call online exclusive, OEX has limited play. It can't be more than, let's say, 15-20% of your total business. Because if you try and do that, you end up doing or playing with the equity of the brand. The brand has created an equity over a period of, in our case, 50 years. Consumer trusts Jack and Jones, and they go and buy at a certain price. They give that value to the product. And if we keep on reducing the discount price or give more discount, which is like you are playing with the equity of a brand. Not allowed in our case. We're producing online exclusive, which is more of a basic collection, available throughout the year. Up till now, it was slightly marked up and then discounted. But going forward, you will see it is moderately priced and moderately discounted. So you buy a basic Jack and Jones t-shirt at let's say 1500 or 1000 rupees, but that is the appropriate discount. We are not going to mark it to 2000 rupees and say, okay, 50% paid, take it for 1000 rupees. So that's the brand guidelines which we have received of late, and then we're currently working on it. So OEX is not about markup and markdown. It's about convenience, consistency, and depth. So that's what for us is. Yeah. Any other view?
Yeah, interestingly, completely opposite view. Yeah, so for us, price parity is like non-negotiable. For us, we keep it on a standard where a customer going to a store, customer going to an online version or a mobile version or another store of ours, it's the same price for same value. We don't play around with price at all. So if there is a discount at a store, the same discount is on website, the same discount is on your Android, the same is on the iOS. We will take a hit, whatever it takes, but the customer will get the same value, the same price, the same experience everywhere is what we stand with. Now, there might be a little deviation in terms of the inventory when it comes to what we have online and what is there in store, because not everything which is in store can be online. Constraining the limited area of delivery or availability of that item across India. So that can be one scenario where we try to deal with it, or there can be a scenario where we try to deal with a grandmother, mother, and a daughter scenario. That is different persona-based scenarios. That how to cover that audience with a similar experience. But price is not something we touch. We try to keep it consistent across so that customer gets a feel and a value that this I don't have to look at this number again. I have to look at every other aspect of newness, novelty, trend, but genuinity and price will not be different. If I'll go to the store tomorrow, that's the same price. And that's why we have been able to implement models like Bopes and Boris, because you buy in store or you pay in store, doesn't matter. You return in store or you return online, doesn't matter. We are comfortable because we want to have customer the experience of relying on a brand.
Impact your economics?
I'll ask.
So I want to tell you this, hi Mohit. So thing is that you are Shopper Stop, okay? Shopper Stop and a brand. So there is a difference, right?
Exactly.
So if I go to a Chroma, store, and if I want to buy maybe a fridge or a AC or something, I have experienced that if Amazon is giving me maybe 20% discount, Chroma said I'll give you immediately. and they say. So exactly as you rightly said, I have experienced this. Now the point here is that you are saying that you don't play with the price. Either brands also not playing with the price, they are playing with the merchandise. So I think the point which you are saying, so we are absolutely aligned with what you said. But even as a brand, we also don't touch prices. We also are loyal to our consumers with respect to the prices, but we do play with our merchandises because we do know that our online consumer versus offline consumer is both the bases are different. So this is what I think I actually wanted to tell you that this is something which we also do as a brand. We don't do that playing with the price and making fool of your own consumers. No, absolutely no.
No, absolutely right. And I was about to add to what Mohit was saying, and I think Khushboo just pointed it out. So see, I think the prerogative of Shopper Stop is, I mean, we are not a marketplace. We are not a brand.com. So hence we do not have that liberty of adding SMUs and OSMs and all. We are a true omni-channel retailer. Offline first, online is for the entire integration of that seamlessness that I talked about. Hence, where Mohit was coming from was that the price parity between the store and online, and even if I have to take that hit in my P&L, I'm okay with it. The parity is maintained. Maybe tomorrow, if we decide to, come into the game, have a huge marketplace on ss.com, maybe we'll also start that, a brand the way it's doing that typical old season merchandise, that SMU lines. But as of now, no. So again, it's completely the prerogative of the platform, the company, and what their priorities are.
Yeah, on a similar front, I think what I wanted to say to add to Khushboo, right? I mean, there is a difference, right? They are Shopper Stop, and again, as I agree that you're not a brand.com or a marketplace, you're a true omni player. But what happens, you always have a leverage in terms of, if there's some merchandise not selling, you can return it to the brand, right? But we as a brand, we have to keep it, right? That becomes a big problem, right? You will always have that leverage. नहीं तो बोलेंगे नहीं हम तो order ही नहीं देंगे जी sir, है ना? Fact of life है. So theory में it looks very amazing that we should have price parity, everything, and I sort of resonate with Mohit as well, where he said they were able to implement Bopis and Boris, which is buy offline and pick in store online, which is a good stuff. But again, as I said, in theory, it is really beautiful where we say that, we will have price parity, etc. You go on any channel, Pepe jeans, blue denim, you will get it for 3,999 only or 4,999 on website you go or anywhere. See, the reality is different. You always end up with a lot of OSM stock, which is a brand problem, not anyone's problem, right? Myntra doesn't care about it. Shopper Stop will not care about it, or anyone. See that again. That's one part of the discussion. That's a challenge part. But what I see, how we see it basically at Pepe, is serving consumer what they are looking for on a specific channel, right? As Shahroz said that they are coming up with the gift set, which they'll be selling during the Raksha Bandhan, where you can order quickly, and so they are creating a product. Similarly, what we have done is we have also created certain product, right? For example, it's really difficult to differentiate between two blue denims, to be honest with you. एक तुमने टर्की में बना ली, एक तुमने इंडिया में बना ली. Customer doesn't give a dash. So वो reality है ना? So what we have done, we created 3-4 options on Myntra where we aimed at getting a first price right strategy sort of thing, and it became our top seller, right? I mean, right from launch, every day we started selling 150 times. I mean, initial, I know the number looks smaller because we have bigger guys here, but anyway, 150 denims a day, and now we are reproducing it. And the whole point is that is going to be a never out of stock product for us, right? We'll keep on manufacturing, we'll keep it at that MRP, where we got it, and we are not heavily discounting it, right? We are giving it a very good price point, not hampering our margins as well. Keeping our unit economics, right? So that is what's happening. So I think the answer is, of course, price parity is where we should lead. But reality is that to serve consumer, what they're looking for in specific channel is what the thought process we have at this point of time.
Also adding to his point, Aniket, that in e-commerce, no, I have seen that replenishment really works, as he rightly said. Offline doesn't work. Offline, may you need every now freshness. I mean, the person who's going, a consumer who's going to the store, he wants something new in the options. So that is why there is a summer and winter launch. Why we are doing launches every year? Because as a brand, we know that consumer need this. But if you talk about online, online is absolutely replenishment game. The top SKU which is there on the top will remain top till the time you replenish. And Amazon especially. Even in fashion, Amazon, we do know that it's not great, but for the very fact, they are experimenting and they're telling me every now and then, Khushboo, we have done this experiment with Levi's, that we are taking only 10 options of denims and we are keeping on replenishing, and they are super hit. And they are giving us 90% of the business. So absolutely different ball game. We have to treat online as an online business, offline as an offline business. अगर common merchandise है, definitely then you can bridge the gap, since you are talking about the same merchandise which is there in the store simultaneously which is there with your online also. Otherwise, I don't see that connection will happen ever.
Okay, I was just thinking that probably I would be the odd man out and would raise a lot of eyebrows. But okay, so since again passed on the mic, so I'll tell you few facts. We started our journey online. Okay, from again I'll just press on the fact we started our offline journey last year only. We have opened around 65 stores. Now all of that, we have the same thing. We have gone from we have focused on price parity. Okay, online, offline. While we have opened. At contribution margin level, all are 20% northwards, first year exit. Okay, that I probably once a clap. 65 stores, all at 20% plus northwards at contribution margin first year. Now, what we are doing, we are trying to have that same consumers. How we have approached it, it is not a secret, or it's the basic thing we have. Since we have online access, we saw this is the particular geography we are strong with. Some of the pin codes we have consumer base which are as good as you can say around 30% of the household penetration are already your consumers in terms of your .com consumers. So you leverage, you put your stores there, you just add on your new consumer acquisition becomes seamless because you are not spending much. अब वहाँ पे एक होर्डिंग दे दो उसको आप लाख रुपए 1.5 लाख रुपए you spend on a hoarding infrastructure, but you put in a store, that would be your leave the OpEx apart, but that would be your cost of more or less infrastructure. So if you are planning it well, price parity is working for us, and it is working for us in a larger way because when you are going, we have seen a lot of, she was also mentioning that there are a lot of items which are there on the basket, which are, why you have not shopped, probably there is a trial. You cannot trust. You can call it a touch and feel need, touch and tech. So in tech, you cannot, for our consumers, you probably will have to try, feel how it is, how the cosmetics are, how the skincare products are. So that trust, we are just building on particular geographies, and that is working. And for that, it is absolutely important to give the consumers the same kind of experience. In fact, I'll also tell you the fact, we initially had around 78 odd dark stores which we are integrating in the stores right now. So we are going forward. That is the way forward we are at least choosing, and hope it works, continue to work. Yeah.
I really wish we had more time because this is just getting into a very interesting conversation where we have such diverse views across, price parity and merchandising being, and very cross views, and it's amazing to see how different brands or different, omni-channel marketplaces, you're doing it so differently, right? And online first going into offline, you're maintaining this kind of a CM in first year with price parity. That's amazing. I mean, it's just. I mean, I wish we could have, deep dive. And also another insight that I, possibly figured out, through your conversation is that you're treating different consumer segments for offline versus online. So it's not really connected. Whereas you're saying that it's all connected, right? So that's a very diverse sort of consumer insight that I'm getting in this room, which is very interesting.
Yeah. I think.
Sorry, I can share one instance. A couple of weeks back, I called a customer. I want to know why that person is, returned the product worth 20,000 rupees. So the merchandise, 5, 6 SKUs in 20,000. So 20,000 is not a small order. And I thought I should call this person. Why? I was very curious to know. I said, what is the reason, sir? Why you? He's like, फर्स्ट टाइम स्पाइकर लिया था, फिटिंग नहीं आया है. आई सेड सर मेरा रिक्वेस्ट है नेक्स्ट टाइम ना, फर्स्ट टाइम जब आप ब्रांड ट्राई करते हो ना, आप स्टोर पे जाना. जब आपको स्टोर पे आपको समझ में आ जाएगा ना, आपको ये फिट आ रहा है, ये साइज़ आ रहा है, नेक्स्ट टाइम यू बाय ऑनलाइन, बिकॉज इवन वी नो दैट ब्रांड हैज़ अ स्टैंडर्ड साइज. सो यू नो द मोमेंट यू नो कि 32 आता है, आप 32 चुपचाप आँख बंद करके खरीद लेते हो. तो ही इज़ लाइक, आई अग्री टू यू मैम, next time I will buy. So I wanted to greet him with the, of course, coupon voucher. I felt I should give that. So I have seen that there are consumers who are new also to the brand, but they were like, मेरा height भी मैम 6'2" है, so मुझे fit ही नहीं हुआ है. So बहुत सारे अलग अलग type के consumers, I am also looking at it. I was not even expecting that person is buying first time from the online. There are new customers who are coming by. Maybe we are doing a lot of ads, meta ads, so वहाँ से आ रहे हैं. But at the end of the day, I think that is also one learning, that जब आपको पता है ना आपको कुछ नया कुछ ट्राई करना है, तो पहले आप स्टोर पे जाओ, ट्राई करो, फिर आप ऑनलाइन खरीदो.
Do you think, Khushboo, and this is to, I think, the last question of the session that I wanted to put across to everybody, that technology can solve for this, right?
Yeah, technology can.
And how? So how are you thinking?
Yeah.
And my last question to everybody is, how can technology solve for this? And how are you in your brands looking at technology and driving this? So that this connected commerce actually becomes a reality in the near future. That's the last question. The room is open.
Sure. I think I'll merge 2-3 points. Like Aniket said and Khushboo said that merchandising becomes the most important part for the online. We have views around personas. I think the understanding of the customer when they are coming online and offline is completely different, and that's why we are all trying to play around with a different challenge. Because if you yourself see yourself and walk into a store and walk into an online app, in online your experience is based on 3 R's. First is rating, second is reviews, and third is return. In our mind we are very clear, अच्छी rating है, अच्छा review है, तो चलेगा, नहीं तो third तो return है. And that's the behavior. But in a store, when you walk in, you never touch a jeans state looking at or with the thought of कि इसकी मेरे को rating पूछनी है, किसी को सही आई थी कि नहीं आई थी. I don't even care rating. Even if the guy is explaining to me, sir ये बहुत बढ़िया है, doesn't matter to me. I can do that, make that choice. But in online, I'm not making that choice myself. The online, I'm relying on the other part of the world. It can be AI, it can be real customer, it can be fake, it can be generated by anybody else. But making the customer understand, and that's why the example of Amazon, why it is working, because they are getting more ratings on particular products, and that's why they are able to sell, because 1 lakh reviews ke baad nobody is going to question. After 1 lakh review, will you ever question a product? You will never question a product. You will only question कि इसका size मेरे को आएगा कि नहीं आएगा, the variant. So I think they are trying to play with it. So that's the problem we are trying to solve in different methods. For us, we are not trying to solve that problem in that way, because we understand for most of the customers who are coming on shopperstop.com would have visited our store sometime, or they would have trusted our conversation in past in some way. So we try to capitalize on that. And I believe everybody who have started a journey from store to online is playing a different ball game than who have started from online and trying to take it up. It's a completely different ball game altogether. They're trying to gain trust from a customer who have not seen them, who have not heard of them, who have not experienced the product, and they are relying on completely different parameters. Because, like you said, 20,000 ka return. I have Gen Zs in my family, and I sometimes enter the house and there are 30 to 40 packets in the drawing room getting opened, and 25 getting returned next day, and I'm perfectly fine with it. I have made my peace, because even I don't like it to the core of my heart. I still make my peace because that's how they are going to do it. How else they will decide? If something is not having that conviction on the online where they were able to make a decision, this is how they are going to treat the system. See, virtual try on and everything. I'm very much convinced that few categories it will work with, but if you go for a lehenga, you cannot even think of it, or you go for a kind of stuff we have in gems and stones. You will never do that. So the ball game, I think, for each industry is different. It's a use case in itself. Some industries might overlap to 60, 70, 80%, but with every persona we deal with, I am, as a techie, while Ravi or me, we sit on the different side of table most of the time. I am 100% sure whatever I create will only cover 60% of the audience. It cannot cater to the next 40. Whatever I do, it might leave the audience which is 2 decades elder than me, or 2 decades younger than me, because that's the frame we'll never be able to cover with tech. And with the speed of changes happening, while we can try to have this catch game, tech is always behind by 10 years, because somebody is disrupting the market and other 50 players around there are just thinking how to now make your tech enabling something which somebody have created now.
Also, since you said tech definitely can help, but I always wonder, so many tools are there. Which one, when to use? Like, I have click post hai, GoKwik hai. I'm sorry, no offense. What to use when? I mean, there is no one single tool who can help me with all of these open issues. उसके लिए ये आपको ये चीज़ के लिए ये करना है, तो I think इतना chaotic हो जाता है.
Easier to the consumer, but difficult for your
Brand.
something like that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll give you an opposing view. I'll actually answer the previous question, which will segue into your question about tech. I don't think price parity should exist, and I'll tell you why. At least for my brand, obviously views may differ, but for my brand, I don't think it should matter, because, say, Abhinav comes to a marketplace. You want a shirt in size 42. I say, okay, these are the 50 options. You want this? Okay, give me money. Bye bye, and I'll never see you again. Versus, say, Joyita comes to my store and I recognize her, like, hi Joyita, how was your purchase that you made 3 months ago? Here are the few things which I think you would love, right? These are two very different experiences, and I think this should cost more, right? Right now, Apple has 30,000 rupees premium on the MacBook if you buy from the store versus Amazon. And people are still buying it, right? 30,000 is a big amount, but they still want that brand store experience. So I don't think that kind of parity should matter. And to answer your question about tech, it's this experience that I told you about, right? Where I recognize the customer, unified customer data, what Khushboo pointed out. When I recognize that customer and then design a premium experience around that on my brand.com or my EBO, that should have a premium, and technology can definitely solve for that. That's fine. I think every brand wants to treat their customer differently, so it's fine.
Yeah.
But on the other side of the pendulum, you have to understand there is one market which is going the cheaper way, the other market is going the premium way. Premium. Because now the starking difference of apps only going the premium way is very evident. Because the parity within the industry and within the gentry is also clear. We can see that. And I'm not sure how the trend will fall out, but it will segregate itself.
Yeah.
It will. It always do.
As customers, we are ready to pay 200 rupees extra just if Ravi is written over. You know?
Yeah.
So I think he's right. Just because someone calls me, "Hi Ravi, your coffee is ready," instead of "Sir, your coffee," ये ले यार 200 extra.
So, hello.
It's irritating.
I guess Aniket.
Yeah, okay,
Okay,
please,
just
please.
quickly I'll
Yeah,
answer the question in terms of if tech can solve. Yes, tech can solve a lot of problems. As simple as recommending the size. I mean, of course, you won't make your return zero. That's never gonna happen. कुछ ना कुछ आ ही जाएगा. But you can reduce it. That's for sure. Also, bringing in exchange, as simple as exchange, because we just made it live. We did it all in house. Developed it, and right from day one, the adoption rate which we are seeing is of 15%, right? Which is not low. So I think there are things which technology can solve if implemented in a right way. अब denim नहीं करवा सकते उसको touch तो बात अलग है, but there are things also. Second is that when she said that one tool which can do, see on a face value, if you see now online looks very simpler, that यार image upload कर दी and order कर दिया, उठा लिया, deliver कर दिया. It's not, right? E-commerce within itself has so many things that I don't think a single tool will ever be able to solve all the problem. And अगर कर भी दिया तो दूसरी problem आ जाएगी. But tool will have to, playing that game कि वो problem solve करो, कोई और problem आ जाएगी. I think this was it. I think tech can solve a lot of problem if implemented in a right manner.
Grave that हमने खुद से खोदा है. No questions asked, returns ले लो.
Yeah.
हो गया सब खत्म.
हमने मतलब फ्लिपकार्ट और फॉलो करना पड़ रहा है, मजबूरी है, बिकॉज दैट हैज चेंज द सी इवन इफ यू सी राइट नाउ व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट ऑनलाइन, वी एज अ ब्रांड वी से यार वी वांट टू सेल स्टोरीज, वी वांट टू सेल स्टाइल. सी रियलिटी इज a lot of audience are not trend even, right? आप मुझे अगर 8 साल पहले पूछते, before I entered in retail in 2018, before that I was in SaaS and all those things, I wasn't even aware कि season क्या होता है. The first organization I went, my boss said यार season level पे ये सब and I report बना, what the hell is season? So a lot of Indian, you go out right now, right? A lot of spring summer की collection आई है, देखी? No one gives a shit. I mean, so audience are still maturing. We have audience, Gen Zs and all, who are actually prioritizing style or comfort over pricing. But a major chunk is still not trend driven. It is a price driven market, very price sensitive.
But
agree.
My experience is that online offline नहीं है, अभी offline भी competition है. मैं बताऊँ example, Westside and Zudio. उन लोग का तो ऑनलाइन छोड़ दो, ऑफलाइन. आई वेंट टू जूडियो, मेरे को शर्ट मैं ट्राई कर रहा हूँ 42, 41, बाद में गया 38 फिट आया मेरे को. द सेम ब्रांड वेस्ट साइड में जाता हूँ तो अलग फिट आ रहा है. नाउ हाउ टू, यहाँ पे तो नो बट जूडियो इज डूइंग वेल देन वेस्ट साइड. दे हैव नंबर मोर.
See, yeah, the Zudio audience is different and Westside audience is different. That let's take it as a different case altogether.
Offline maybe there are different type of consumer.
But from your perspective, I am able to understand there are customers who are considering them into same. So that's an interesting view.
I guess Mohit, you had some point to make, and then we'll. You
might have to wind up because everybody.
I think we can wind up. Its discussion is already creative enough.
One thing which I will say that, as Khushboo was also mentioning, there is no right tool for everything. So at the same time, I heard Joyita saying, yeah, we are coming with one thing. So I guess it's a soft announcement kind of thing. But anyway, we are looking forward for what are you coming with.
Next complex tool.
Let's see. I guess that would say solve all the problems. Anyhow, thank you for
Not for you, for my workforce.
Thank you for the wonderful discussion. I guess there was a lot of learning, insights. I mean, you heard each other's challenges and you solved a lot of problems. And thank you all so much and for being part of this.
Thank you, everyone.